Hello, so today I'm going to take you through a seated stretch routine. I would love if you did this a couple times throughout the day, and I'm going to give you two variations. The first one is all sitting, and then if you want to make it really fun, and then you can stand up and do a couple stretches standing as well. What would be even the best would be if you did the seated stuff, the standing stuff, and then you got up and you walked around and you got some steps, you had a little bit of water. That would be like an A+. Okay, so let's start. So first, get your feet shoulder width apart. I don't know about you, but I often cross my legs. Oh, not good. Not good. Okay, shake it out a bit. So first, just do a couple little cat and dogs seated. I call them cat dogs. I think actually in yoga they're called cat cows, but Kathleen's version is cat dog. Anyway, whatever. The point is, round back through your back and then sort of pull yourself forward. Now, you've been sitting for hours, so this is not a 10 out of 10. This is like a 1 or 2 out of 10, purely just to breathe, get yourself into your body a little bit. So don't stress too much and don't pull too much. Don't force anything. Okay, then just do a couple shoulder rolls. Oh, feels so good. Bring your arms up and do some external rotation and internal rotation. Now, when you're doing this, watch that your shoulders don't lift up as you externally rotate. It's just the arm bone rotating in your shoulder socket and then down. I'm gonna add a little bit of fun. You externally rotate and then just bring your hands behind your head. Oh, nice chest stretch. That gets really tight because we sit like this. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, so open. Now, watch when you open that you don't arch your back. Think of it as a little bit of a mini seated plank. Your arms are moving, but your core is engaged. Okay, we got that. And then we're going to take one leg and we're going to put it up on your thigh. So this is a seated figure 4. You can put a pillow underneath your butt. If this knee is like really, really high and you're so stiff that you're having to roll back, we don't want that because then you're just going to feel this in your lower back. So sit on something if you need to. And we're going to do a couple of variations on this. So for the first variation, you would just press gently into your thigh, never on your knee, and then you could reach up. You could even reach up and just sort of like stretch slightly to get a little bit of rib motion in there. That'd be the first one. If you want to add a little bit of even extra fun, as you press down, you lift this heel. Oh, it feels very lovely. I always laugh because Hannah in Peloton, one of the instructors, she always says spicy, and I've always teased her in my brain for that because she says it so often, and now I have this gut desire to say spicy because it feels very organic. Like, oh, this feels so spicy. So how about yummy? We'll say yummy. It feels very yummy or delicious. So I'm not copying her. I'm copying his form of flattery. Anyway, now you're going to do the figure 4 3 directions. Chest is out. You're going to hinge over your foot, your shin, and then your knee. Now, you're going to say, which one of those was the tightest? For me, I was over my knee. So pick the place that you were the tightest, chest out, and just do a little scan of that area. But remember, 2 out of 10. We are not fully warmed up. This is just to say to your body, I remember you, body. I know I've been sitting for many, many hours, but I'm not that mean. I'm not that mean of a master. I will give you some blood flow and a chance to decompress. Okay, so then that leg is going to come forward. Your heel goes down. I feel like I need to shift a little bit forward in your chair, so depending on where you're sitting, you might need to shift. Okay, and again, breastbone out, chest out, shoulders back, and you're just going to hinge forward. When you're forward, you let your thigh bone go out, and you let your thigh bone go in. Should feel very yummy, very delicious. Okay, and then you can sort of do a couple ankle rolls. Oh, I forgot that. When you're in your figure 4, that's another thing that you can do is just a couple ankle rolls. Feels so good. Okay, so then we would do it all on the other side. So you would do the figure 4. Remember, not on the knee. You'd press. You could reach if you want to. You could press. You could lift that heel. There's so many different variations of how to do this. You could do your 3 different directions. You could even do a little what's called functional range conditioning from Dr. Spina, where you press up into the hand. So I'm pressing my leg into my hand, feel a little bit of activation through my inner thigh, and then I engage my butt cheek. So left butt cheek to kind of pull it away from my hand. So you're using more muscles, it's less passive. That's a really fun one to do as well. Okay, so then if you're like, okay, Kathleen, I'm done with that, I'm gonna go back to work, I'd say fine. Put your feet down, so to do a couple shoulder rolls, maybe some alternating shoulder rolls, maybe a couple little rotations, and then a deep breath, and then go back to work. But if you're like, no, I'm gonna do level 2 of this, then I'm gonna get you to stand up. So whenever you stand, I want you to think bum. I want you to think core, feet hip distance apart, so you're not letting your knees kind of go in, and you're going to stand. Okay, so part B of this, we got to get a little bit of inner thigh stretch. We got to get some hip flexors. So the hip flexors are really key because when we're sitting, they get really schmiggly and mad. So one foot goes back like into a lunge. Schmiggly and mad, that's definitely a scientific term. I'm sure all of my professors at school would be very happy to hear me. It'd be so ridiculous. Okay, so you're going to squeeze your butt cheek of the back leg. Think like you're wearing a belt buckle and you're sort of tucking yourself up and you're feeling a nice stretch through here. Okay, so 10 to 30 seconds. Again, you are not warm, so it's a 2 out of 10. Squeeze your bum, tuck. You want to add a little bit of extra. You could do a little rotation away from that back leg. That should feel really nice. Okay, and then you push your back heel down and you go into a calf stretch. The final one here would be if you bring your front foot a little bit wider, and you just do a little bit of a pelvic rock, which is just going to get a little bit of inner thighs. Again, 2 out of 10, I cannot stress that enough. You do not want to pull anything because your muscles are cold. So I'm going to show you the other leg turning to the side so you can see me. So the first one was that hip flexor stretch. So you're in that little mini lunge. You squeeze your back butt cheek, you tuck your pelvis, and you just want to feel a nice stretch through here. You can do a couple rotations. Okay, should all feel good. If it feels like ow, pain, 10 out of 10, you know you're doing something too strongly. Okay, then you put your heel down, you go into a calf stretch. Watch with this that both feet are facing forward. A lot of people like their foot open like that. Again, you can squeeze this back butt cheek a bit, make sure your pelvis is forward, engage your core. And then the last one would just be make your feet a little bit wider, and then your pelvis just that, I call it a valley girl, so you're just feeling that inner thigh. And then, if you're really gonna wanna make me happy, because I know it's all about making Kathleen happy, then you're gonna be like, oh, now I'm gonna walk around, get some steps, get some water. Water is very important. And then when you come back to your desk, you'll have less brain fog, you'll be able to focus, and you'll just feel like, oh, I gave myself a little gift. A gift of movement and a gift of a little bit of time. And as Oprah said, time is the biggest gift we can give ourselves, or something like that. Time is important, basically. It's a resource. We often give it away to other people. We gotta give it to ourselves a little bit more. Give yourself some love. Anyway, enjoy. I hope your body feels great.